Hey, hold up, folks. Don't eat it with your eyes yet. Today, I'm gonna show you how to turn these ingredients right here into a fast 30-minute cheesy beef and potato skillet. Let's get it. Okay, folks, so look, let's just go over these ingredients real quick, right? So obviously we got bell peppers. Potatoes gonna be one of the stars. You gotta have cheese. That's what's gonna tie it all together. And then I got some dry ingredients, right? And then this time I'll be using my beef. Now this is for like the heavier meats, but listen, it does say for beef. Now you guys, you wanna use the beef on this one, this is gonna turn it up over the top. Then if I slide this into the picture, you guys all know that I do salt and pepper, and that's kosher salt, that is, coarse grind. We got to do a little prep work. So I'm gonna go ahead and just cut this down here. I want you to notice, look, I might have changed up my knife on y'all, folks. You see this right here? I'm gonna clean this up with this right here. Look at the black blade. I promise you, you guys ever get a chance to get one of these? Actually, I'm working with him to see if we can't get something, for our subscribers. This is the Middleton made knife. These right here are super sharp. And I can tell you this, it does a very, very good job. I even got to be careful now. You know what I mean? Look at that. Okay, so look, this is what we're gonna do. You see I got everything prepped. We diced onions. I move all of this to the side. For those of you guys that have like a fry cutter, I got one. We probably all have one of these, you know what I mean? But just only use it when it was new. But I'm gonna show you, this cuts down the time, when we dicing, right? You know what I mean? I'm gonna take it like this, drop this in, right? Then I'll put a little pressure here on the back end just so it'll stay. This is like my little secret when I'm dicing, right? Now I hold this here because it will slide. So we just bring it on, keep coming. Make sure you got this there, and then look. You see that right there? All of these are done. Makes it easy to go ahead and start dicing. I'm gonna go ahead and do one. Then you wanna get yourself one of these. What I do is I get a bowl, put some cold water in it, right? So we can keep these from turning brown. I'll do the rest, but I just wanna show you guys just how I do it. Now you guys can dice them however you would like to, but we're gonna do them just like this. Now, you cut these however you want to, right? So I can just go like this. Keep them all about the same size though. Reason being, so you want them all to be ready at the same time. Remember I talked about that water? We take this, we drop those in there. It's gonna get some of that starch off of there. Matter of fact, I'm gonna bring the camera up real close so you can see the starch kick off of it. You see that cloudiness down there? Listen, the more starch, that's the less it's gonna become crispy, right? So now you guys know, that's the real secret. Let's get that starch off, and then when we go ahead and cook them, we wanna go ahead and make sure that they can pat it dry completely. All right, so now really, this recipe is really all about like the prep work. You spend a little time in the very beginning and you're good. Now, you see what I'm doing right here? I'm grading my own cheese, folks. It depends. If you're new here, I'll explain it again. When you buy the shredded cheese in the grocery store, if you look at the shredded cheese through the window, you'll notice that they got like a little white powdery substance on there. That's so that it don't stick. Because if they gave it to you raw, if it was all sticking in there, it would be like that. And then you wouldn't buy it. So they put that there so it'll stop the sticking. You know what I mean? To minimize it as much as possible. But I can tell you this, when you grate your own cheese, it melts so good without putting all of that stuff in your body anyway. Just enough to get it. I'm doing with cast iron. This is almost like what we call like the preheat. Cast iron is good for the fact that the iron, listen, it spreads it out. Once it's out, it holds its heat. Now, as this builds up, I'm gonna go ahead and add myself just a little bit of this extra infused virgin olive oil. That's not the right way. It's really extra virgin infused olive oil. This one here is scallion. This is from Branch and Vine Upland, folks. I suggest you guys get it. We getting ready to go into the fall, and you're gonna need that to level up these dishes. Now, if you guys pay attention right here, I went ahead and measured this because I'm starting to buy my meat in larger quantities. So as I got my 80-20, you guys could use 90-10 on this. That's cool too, but I'm using 80-20, right? So I measured this out and I'm using this is 1 pound and 10 ounces. All right, you see how clear that water is? That's what you want to get, folks. Now I done gave you guys a pro tip. So now you know how to make your potatoes super crispy, right? So now we come over here. Remember this? I was just talking about this tool. Now we're getting ready to break this up. Now you're not gonna get it all broke up the way you want to in the very beginning. Well, at least I don't. And I get it like this. And then when I get down to where it's just a little bit of pink, I start adding the rest of my ingredients to it, right? We'll let it do like this. Now we got maximum contact on the surface. Oh, and by the way, I did reduce my flame down to a medium. Instead of medium high, now we medium. There we go. All right, folks, I want you guys to pay attention right here. Look at how murky that water is. That's all of the starch in there that be on the potatoes anyway. Hey, and before we even get to that, look right here. Let me stop right there. You see, I always keep hot, soapy water next to, when I'm cooking so I can wash as I go. All right, so now I'm gonna turn this on the cold, turn this on, and we're gonna run this until this water becomes clear. All right, so I'm gonna just stick this in here like that and just work this. And to be honest with you, I'm gonna show you a little trick. Look, this is the real trick. Instead of taking it, in the past, I'll be holding my hand like that. Why don't we use our brain, or excuse me, let me just say it like this. Why I don't use my brain and just go ahead and use a colander. Look inside this bowl. Hopefully you guys can see it. Look at how the starch is running in there. That's what we want to get rid of, because we want it to be a bit more on the crispy side. Here we go. Remember I said we want to have like a little bit of pink. This just tells me, this is my reminder, like, okay, now I need to add something else. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add my onions. For those of you guys that got those pots or you've been cooking way too fast and something is sticking on the bottom, these onions right here gonna help you deglaze your pan. I'm gonna do it the way I teach people how to do it. I know people tell me it don't make a difference, but I'm gonna tell you it like this. I like to give my onions always a little bit of a head start, right? So I got that in there. You see that right there? What we're doing is we're getting these flavors to combine. Now this is a well-seasoned cast iron, so I don't get all that stickers like everybody else do. So I got a couple of videos, but I'm gonna make some more videos to teach you guys how to season your cast iron. If you wanna see it, please talk to me and tell me down in the bottom section below that you guys wanna see that. And I'll keep it detailed, you know what I mean? And we're gonna learn how to cook with. If you ask me, we only need a couple of things in our kitchen, and our cooking utensils should be, as far as pots and pans go, you need yourself a couple of size cast irons, you know what I mean? And then you're gonna need to get yourself some hex clad. That right there would take you to the motherland. So look at that right there. It's colorful, I got it, but look at the infusion that we're doing with the beef. One of the things that I do to teach everybody something, I've made a mistake in the past because that's the way I was taught. But the right way would be is, if you ask me, we don't want to burn our garlic, right? So since we got this cover down here, nothing is going to touch the bottom. And while I'm talking, trying to make a video or doing something else, we don't have to worry about burning. Notice what I'm about to do. I'm gonna put this right here. Once I mince these, notice how this is on top. I can keep talking, I can leave, I can come back. I don't have to worry about me burning my garlic. In the past, I have put it down there. Once it gets on that hot, skillet, then it'll burn. And there's a fine line between it being burnt and then it being browned and good. So when you have it this way, now we gonna work this in here. If we get this all incorporated, pay attention to the color of my beef. My beef is really red right now. We almost done. And I can tell you, soon as that garlic touches anything that's hot, just when it kicks back the aromatic from that, let you know, hey, you're doing everything right. I'm gonna show you something. When I pull this back right there, look, it's not as greasy as everybody think it is. You know what I mean? You get a little bit of that, but you wanna have some of that. That's gonna mix when we put that rice in there, right? So now I'm gonna take my dry, look at my seasoning that I put in here. And I got a little bit of a level up for those of you guys that have bought some seasonings from myself. You know what I mean? We put all of this on here. And don't forget, the full ingredient list is on my website, you guys. That's Smokin and Grillin with AB.com, and that's WITAB.com. Go there, check it out. Look, so when you go there and you did this, maybe you wanna have a side. I got all of the suggestions or anything that you're probably looking for. I probably made it, explain my way. Now, let me bring my secret weapon. You see this right here? This the B. You guys don't see me cooking with this a lot. I cook with this mostly when I'm on my smoker or something like that, right? This is for the heavier meats, but this is beef, and this give you a different profile. This right here, you just want to dust this, nicely. One thing about getting seasonings from me, I don't just tell you how to use it just for one thing. I cook with it all the time so you guys can see and get a lot of suggestions. And then once you taste the profile, you guys let me know what have you tried it on, and I'm probably gonna have to, do that myself. All right, so you remember we did this, right? We diced everything down. Now we wanna make sure that we can pat this dry as possible. You're only gonna be able to get it so dry anyway, and don't forget, we finna put it in there. You just want this to be able to soak up some of the flavor and to start cooking itself down. Once we have it here, I'm gonna go ahead and just grab this, like this, and we're gonna do it ghetto style. We're just gonna go ahead and put that in there like that. Oh, this will take another one. And before I start stirring it up, I'm gonna show you guys this. So this is how I got there. We already had it with clear water, so we was good, right? So I get myself a spider. This is what I'm talking about, this right here, spider. Look, I just go in that same bowl, let it drip dry. I'm looking to see how much I need, because if you ask me, I made too many potatoes. We'll do it like this, make sure this is done. I bring this over here and I spread them out. Now that I got them spread, now we come back with another sheet of paper towel. We just put this on the top, right? Now I'm gonna check my fire here because I want to get back up to just a medium flame. You can probably hear it if the mic is picking it up. I can hear it starting to sizzle again a little bit more. This right here is starting to pick up some of that moisture, and then we just take it and then we add this right over the top. You guys tell me, when you make this, just by looking at what I'm doing, would you have put more potato or less? We start working this in here like this. So now you'll be able to see the infusion of flavors, right? If we start using them kind of words, you start looking at what you're doing as you cooking, it start making a lot of sense to you. The masher broke everything up. Look at that right there. That's nice. This is what we want to have. Look at the potatoes. They going from being that starchy white. Look at them. Now you can see how they're picking up the oils and all of the flavor, any fine that's in here, you know, all of the mixture where the veggies have infused with everything else. This is how you know when you're mixing everything right, by the color, right? Now we're gonna add our rice to it. Now I'm gonna show you, I like to let my rice dry before I add my broth to it. I like to go ahead and cook this and let this absorb a little bit on its own prior to me putting it in there. I don't know if you guys know that sometimes you can take the rice, put it in a skillet, and then you could just like toast it. You know what I mean? It gives it a little bit of color, but it gives a little bit of a nuttiness taste to it. We're gonna go ahead and get this like that. That might not look like no whole lot of rice. I feel like 1 cup ain't gonna do it looking at it, but trust me folks, when I make it, that's all I use is 1 cup. You see how you can hardly even see the rice? I'm gonna keep moving this around. Everything that I put in here has absorbed some flavor. All right, so now I judge it by this. As long as I can't see no more white rice, it's been simmering, you know, like just working like this is cool. Now we can bring our beef broth in. Everybody don't have beef broth. So if you don't have beef broth and you got chicken broth, you can use that. It's still an abundance of flavor, but I'm gonna tell you this, it's best if you use beef broth just for this flavor profile, especially for those of you guys that got that beef seasoning. This right here gonna make something, you know, that when I say over the top, that's what I mean. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this up back up on high because I wanna hurry up and get it to boil. Once it boils, I'm gonna reduce it down to do a simmer. We're gonna put a lid on top. Then we're gonna set ourselves a timer for 25 minutes. All right, so just for what I said, now it's boiling. We set this to a simmer. You'll see it calm down. I don't need to do nothing else but just put this lid on there. I already gave you guys the time, and I'll see you guys in 25 minutes. Okay, folks, look, my timer went off. It's been about 25 minutes. Actually, it's probably been about 28 minutes. Let's go ahead and open this. Now, notice I'm gonna break this over here away so I don't get no steam burn this way, right? So we take it like that. Oh, look at that. All right, I'll put that down. I'm gonna turn this off. Now, whew, yes. You see that? Now I can run this down to the bottom of this right here. Nothing stuck. Oh, look at that. Now, how are we gonna check this, folks? It's for all my people to know what they're doing when you're cooking with them potatoes. How do we know that this is ready? I know it's ready. I can tell the way that these potatoes are touching my spatula. But the way we're gonna check this is, we're gonna reach in here, we're gonna get ourselves a toothpick. I'm gonna take this toothpick and now I'm finna, oh, look at that. They won't even pick it up. These are nice and tender. If I do like this, yeah, there we go. Nice and tender. You see that right there? I knew they was ready. Now, this is what we're gonna do. Now we shredded a little bit of this cheese, right? I'm gonna go ahead and put some of this cheese right here on top. Now we got a lot of heat in there, right? We're not finna do anything. I turned my fire off. Yes, sir. All right, and then I'm gonna leave it alone. Now you guys can put as much cheese on here as you would like. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this top on here. We're just gonna wait about 2 or 3 minutes and that'll be melted. I did this, and when I shredded it on the small side. You see that right there? And this is my cheese I made, not that store-bought. 2 or 3 minutes, and that's gonna be just right. I'm gonna take some pictures of it, make it a star, and I'll see y'all in just a minute. All right, folks, so I might have a different tone, because if you look right here, we almost ate this because we were saying, you know, everybody hungry and everybody talking about how good it is, but we had to hold this back because this is what I got to do my outro. But if you look at this skillet right here, you can see that didn't nobody hold back. You know what I mean? So ain't no Tupperware or nothing like that. So I'm gonna go ahead. One cool thing about it is I get a chance to go in here and get me a little bit more. Look at this. You can see the colors on it. You saw all of the infusion. You can see all of the greatness and goodness inside of this pan anyway that's left. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna quit talking so I can go ahead and eat. Cheers, y'all. Hold on. I ain't gonna lie to you. I went in here and hit that. That's why I took the spoon out. I'm finna give it away. It's somebody over there begging and barking, saying that they didn't get enough, right? So I'm gonna leave it like that. I didn't wanna like double dip in it. And I done had so much. That's all I can tell you is, you guys make this and let me know down in the comment section below. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'm gonna give you this one. If you got yourself one of them big tortillas, you roll this up. You know what I mean? And then somebody in the back just said, what if we just put a little scrambled egg or something like that in the inside? Ooh, wait. Then don't forget, full ingredient list is on my website, smokingandgrillin.ab.com. That's WITAB.com. Listen, I'm not finna overtalk no more. I just want to say, hey, thank you. And if you're new, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and tell everybody. Guess what, folks? I'm out. Peace.